All right. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm
Hi.
happy to be back in your life this Sunday afternoon, ready to practice, ready to draw, paint, what have you. Great to see some familiar faces. Grace, hi, all the way down there in Texas. Great to see you. Judith, you too. I'm back in DC, so I'll be reuniting with some of you all very soon. Maureen, good to have you again. And great to see you. Candy, long time no see. I know you've been
Yeah,
traveling a lot. You're
me
usually a
too.
regular in these sessions, but it's good to have you in one place so we could paint together. So welcome to the monthly Masterwork practice hour. It's my pleasure to present this series to you in collaboration with the Leo Marchutz School of Painting and Drawing. This week, I'm going to try something a little bit different. Let me see if this works, actually. If I share my screen,
Oh,
yeah, you can see everything. And I actually would like not the, okay, I guess that'll have to do for now. Okay. When we get to painting, I might use this to I get messages about the recording. My desk is so small and put in the corner, and I want to make it so that everything's 50-50, so that if anyone 50-50 on the screen, so if anyone wants to watch this later, they could see what I do on my desk. But for now, I'll make this small because you all
mm,
are seeing my whole screen. So this series is brought to you in collaboration with the Leo Marchutz School of Painting and Drawing. That's why that's my name in this Zoom meeting, even though you all know me as Nick, because that's the account I'm using. Last month, if you joined us for the practice hour, we did something in Venice because they all went to Venice. So these are some photos. They
oh,
just got back. These are some photos of the group painting in Venice, some golden hour vibes, a lovely group dinner.
ooh,
Looks like maybe one more photo in here with, yeah, Alan helping someone out. Looks like at the Arsenale down at one end of Venice. Anyways, I am bringing this all to you because the Leo Marchutz School does wonderful programs for artists like us. So I encourage you all to visit their website, check out what they've got coming up. If you want to be spontaneous and make some last minute plans for the summer, they've got, where is it? 5 week summer 5 week summer painting program in Aix-en-Provence for adults and college students. Doesn't sound like a bad way to spend your summer. Um, so I will insert the link in the chat for that website so you could check out some of their programs, check out what they got going on this summer. Maybe they're coming to a museum near you to spend a weekend looking at paintings. And then also, if I take you to my website, I'll give you a link for this as well. There are resources for you here also. If you don't already get my practice memos for these practice sessions, feel free to sign up here. And also, if you're looking for some individualized guidance, feedback on your work, suggested practice, I do offer free mini critiques. And you can use this form to send me a message. We will set up a time and we can chat about your work. All right. So without further delay, let me get us to the reference image, and this can go away. So again, let's get to Venice is great. Venice is great. This Friday, I took my mom to the Phillips collection, and
oh,
we looked. I was happy to see this painting there. I think I had known that it was there, but I was sort of reminded that we have this here in Washington, D.C. I'm zooming in from Washington, D.C. now. So it struck me, and I thought it would be a good thing for us to practice together. It's a figure, it's a portrait, but the face takes up only very little in the composition. So a lot of it is a lot of the work outside the arms, maybe some of these tones of yellow and blue that sort of describe the body. I'm thinking I am going to go with watercolor, but I might bring in some colored pencil at the end too, just to articulate some of these features in the hands. You are welcome to use whatever you like. Mes chers artistes, you are welcome to practice with any medium that inspires you right now, whether it's gouache, watercolor, ink. If you've got an easel and oil paints, feel free to go for it. But this is what we're going to be working on today. So feel free to get started. I am going to, let's see, actually, if I spotlight, all right, you will have it on one half of my screen. I'll make it a touch bigger, and then I'm going to try and get my situation. Boop, boop. There's Judith, but we want, oop. Hey, Judith. How do I make it so that I don't want to stop share? Show active speaker. Okay, so I could spotlight you. Very good. And then how big can I make you? Not very big. Okay, I may have to keep playing with this at another time because it looks like that's as big as I can get it. I would like it to be bigger. I'll try one last thing. Yeah, no. Okay, so you can't see me on the right side of my screen. All you just see probably my folders, everything that's on my desktop, my whole world, my whole life.
Mhm.
Okay, cool. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I will try this a different way another time. That was an experiment. I am briefly going to stop sharing just for a hot second, and then we will go straight to the boom. Perfect. That's more like it. Okay.
Who is the artist, Nick? Is it
Yeah.
Bonnard?
The artist is not Bonnard.
It doesn't look like
That's
a
why I took my
Bonnard.
mom to the Phillips to see Bonnard. Okay, in the bottom right corner is for Oscar Kokoschka.
Hmm.
Okay, so let me spotlight my desk. Actually, before I do that, got a few more things to share with you all. So just some reminders for this practice hour. This is an opportunity for us artists to get some practice. It's not a class. I don't have a lesson planned. When working from a masterwork like this, the goal is not to make a forgery, okay? Not an exact replica, but to have your own experience with the masterwork and practice putting it together according to whatever key relationships and essential elements you see. Make your own parallel image with your own touch in your own handwriting. It can still be an opportunity to learn. I'll be sharing my insights about my process as the session unfolds. I will spotlight my desk. There we go. And if watching my work will help you this session over here, I recommend switching to side-by-side speaker view in your meeting. And if you take your cursor and move it to the right just before you get to my desk image here, a vertical bar will appear that you can click and drag over to make my screen larger. Feel free to ask me questions. Feel free to interrupt me and say, hey, Nick, how are you doing that? Hey, Nick, where do you start, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. If you don't have something to say, I encourage you to remain muted just to eliminate any distracting background noise, any traffic, ambulances, barking dogs, et cetera, et cetera. And otherwise, if you are in the zone and just want to work and don't want to listen to me, feel free to mute me. This is your practice time, okay? A special thank you to our returning participants who regularly contribute. We are happy to offer this monthly online practice hour at no cost to our community. If you are enjoying this program, please consider making a donation to support the mission of the Leo Marchutz School of Painting and Drawing. Donations can be made at the link that I am dropping into the chat right now. So there we go. So those are all the links just from my little intro there. The first one is for the Marchutz School's programs. The second one is for my website. The third one is if you'd like to donate. And the fourth one, well, I'll remind you about that at the end. For right now, let's get painting, Nick. So the whole camera thing I was trying to solve just now. Basically, I'm trying to make it so that if someone were to watch a recording of this, right now what they see in the recording is a very large image that sort of persists throughout the entire recording. They hear my voice, they hear your voices, and they see my desk, but it appears very tiny in the corner of the screen, like right here. And I'm trying to figure out what is the best way that I could make my desk the same size as the reference image here. And in between other things that I do, I usually come up with solutions. I'm trying to find solutions that don't involve buying more cameras or anything like that, but I think I just need to keep playing with it. So bear with me while I fix that, or I find a solution for that over the next several sessions. It also affects my online classes that I do with Marchutz or the Smithsonian, because those recordings are also, they also put my desk just in a little tiny corner up here, and that's not always helpful. So we'll see what I can do. If any of you have any ideas, I am all ears. But for now, let's draw. Okay. So this is a little more vertical and skinnier than my paper. So I usually like to draw the rectangle of the image. It helps me with composition because I like to measure things visually, you know, against the height and width of the entire um, image. So that's why I like to draw a rectangle. I can bring that there and this little closer. Actually, let's see. Yellow's pretty good. I think I might want to play with a little bit of, dare I say it, brown. Oh my God. So I'm going to pull out a couple of watercolor pencils that I think might help me later, actually. There we go. All right. So I have wet my paints. I've got my brush ready to go. And I'm going to live on the edge a little bit. And what I'm going to start with is I am going to go just for an overall wash of the whole thing and try and put some of these blue and yellow lines and red up here, just where I see them. I'm not going to worry about making it look like a person just yet, but generally moisten my paper in different areas. And I might take my brush and make sure I'm sort of just adding water to the different areas that I think I will need to put color. Nothing crazy, by no means trying to be perfect out here. Just looking at things. Boom, boom, boom. All right. So with that, I usually just take color straight from my palette. This is, I pre-wet all of these colors before I even signed into the meeting, so they're all nice and soft and ready to go. I'm gonna make like a cool green, I mean blue here. And I'll start with that blue. See where it takes me. So that's kind of what I'm most fascinated by right now. So let's just get it in there and see what happens. All right, I definitely want it to be darker than that, so I'm just gonna go for it. Again, mixing some blue and a little green. Let's get a little more paint into my mixture here. Less diluted, more water. And that should allow us to, there we go. So when using wet technique like this, I start light, but my mixtures of watercolor get increasingly more, well, I increase the ratio of pigment to water gradually, and that's how I get darker and darker colors within, a puddle of water like this. All right. I think I'm gonna go switch now to some of that red at the top. All right, so I'm going for something like that. Nice crimson, maybe a touch of blue in there. Maybe a touch of blue in there and get even more pigment in there. I really want to show up dark. And something, let's get some. All right, and then a little more wash. Actually give that a little bit of time to dry, and let's start working on the interior because I want to get some of these yellows that I see on the outside, but let me just work on what's happening on the inside first, maybe. I want to give that some time to dry. If I put yellow in it now, I'm afraid that it's going to just run and mix all over the place, and I'm not quite yet ready for that. But still just going for some general shapes and colors that I see. Very yellow, this hand down here. Both of these hands down here. So let's get some of this in some places. All right, so I got some yellow down for these hands, just the areas of the hands. I'm gonna make it a little more red because I see that it's slightly more of a burnt orange situation going on where the hands are. Again, not gonna worry too much about making it look like hands at this point. Just want to get the colors that I see down where I see them. All right. And then maybe I'll return for a little bit more of that yellow around the edges. Just when I got all this yellow mixed up. Some of you right there. That's what happens when you don't break your yellow. I feel like I just cracked open a highlighter and doused my paper with its fluids. But that's okay, that happens sometimes. Maybe I can warm it up. There we go. Now it looks like we're working with the same painting. Okay, dropping some color in for the face. Interesting. Interesting indeed. Okay, so I definitely see some things that I'd like to adjust. And I'm more interested, honestly, in some of the murky parts of this painting. Like I have it very, very, very colorful. Um, I don't know that I want to preserve that. So sometimes when I want to remove things, I'll scrub it off. I'll take my brush, I'll make sure it's clean, that there's no pigment at all in it. Take my brush in some, whoop, there we go, in some clean water. And I might just try and like scrub out some of the areas that I want to get rid of. So if there's a ton of water in this corner, if I just put that there, take my paper towel and I can pick it back up and sort of lift up some of the paint that I put down. I don't want to get rid of all of it, but there is just, I don't know, there's this funny, Kokosch is such a funny painter. There's all these faded parts, and I'm really curious about that. So let's see what I could do. And then there's also like this whole region up here that's just this murky wash. Soften this edge while I'm here, but how can I play with some of the, I don't know, the murkiness in some areas of this painting. Let's see. And I'm gonna bring her, here's another example of the scrubbing. The area that I left here for her arm, I want to bring out a little more. So if I take a brush with water and just rub it over the parts that I want to remove some of the paint, you can sort of scrub the paint off. You're not going to bring it back to its original white, um, like a blank piece of paper. That's not possible. But you scrub, you scrub, you scrub. Maybe take a dry paper towel, find a dry corner, pick up the water you just put down, and it does a pretty good job of removing some of the paint and giving you, um, some of the light back. Maybe I'll do the same thing up here. Just there we go. I want to have this shoulder. I'm teaching watercolor to a bunch of high schoolers this week. Doing a fun little workshop with them. And I anticipate a lot of them are going to be, or I'm going to have to demonstrate this to a lot of them, how to scrub and lift up paint when you want to change something because they think everything they do is a mistake. But part of the joy of watercolor is exercising the attitude to embrace your mistakes and have the confidence that you will be able to keep going no matter what comes out of your brush. That's right, Elspeth. I saw you smile. It's true. It's true. So much of this painting stuff is attitude. Okay. So things are drying pretty nicely. How am I doing on time? Beautiful. Things are drying pretty nicely. So let's see what I may like to develop. Some of that hair, we could definitely use some, got nothing going on up top for the hair. So let's bring some of that 2-hour painting. Okay, so I'm not going with much rhyme or reason to be perfectly honest. I am just taking a walk around this painting, touching things that I like, and let's see if it comes together in the end. If not, no worries. Still good practice. That could be a little darker, a little less greening. There we go. And I'm looking at some of the other darks. So I'm at this funny stage where I want things to be darker, but I don't want to go completely dry with my watercolor technique right now because I do want a little bit of that softness, a little bit of that. I don't want things to look super defined and refined here. So I'm kind of putting strokes down and softening them up. Um, I will say, I do like to use my dirty water for some of these. Um, you don't always have to stick to just your clean water. I mean, if you really want that, if you're going to do like a wash and you really need that color to sing like a bright yellow or a bright orange or something, or just untouched, unadulterated by other colors, then definitely use your clean water. But I will bring in darker water just to make things a little more tertiary for me and yeah, soften things up a little bit. Strange, but let's keep going. Okay, so again, I'm going to scrub away some of this blue on the left to make her arm wider. So I'm just taking a clean brush, clean water, rubbing off the paint that I no longer want because I want the light of the page to be her arm. No longer need all this blue. There we go. Nice and soft. All right, so we've made the arms a little wider. What can I do next? So very soon, I think I'll start taking some colored pencil to this thing, and I'll show you how I like to mix the two. Real quick, I just want to get a little bit of boom. All right. I want a little bit of yellow in there. Again, this is going to look like a highlighter, but I will make it chill out in a second. Right. I'll pick some of that up. There we go. Just a little bit under there, just to make it a little more apparent that that arm is coming out. All right. So from here, I think I'm going to abandon brushes. And I think I just want to sharpen this real quick. Sharpen this other one real quick. And see what can be made. Just with some good old-fashioned pencil strokes on top. So like, for example, like, so if I want to get this hand, kind of just, or even like the face up here. Here, let me zoom in. So like I want to bring some of this warmer orange, we could say, into some of this. So I'm gonna just do a few strokes just to get the color in there. I'm not really trying to describe anything, but I'm just hatching some strokes in there just to give it some of the warmth that I want that part of the image to have. I'm not really drawing features. I'm just making marks wherever I see the tone exists. And I might do that with this orange for a little bit. And I may do that. I may do that in some other places too. But with the brown in just a second. Let's see what we got here. All right, so let's just have a go with this. So where do I think I could use some of this? Let's see, right here. Just to accentuate the hand, maybe we can get. I'm not about to draw all the fingers in the hand because frankly, I don't even see them. But major features like this finger right here, that should be all right. Get one more, just one of the digits articulated there. Beautiful. Another one here. Okay. And then down here, the ends of the fingers here are so dark. Don't totally get why, but I'm going to articulate that a touch more. An interesting shape of her hand here. Cool. Maybe up here. And definitely some more in the hair. So in a way, I'm able to shape the hair just by putting darker strokes on top of the regions that I've painted with a wash. All right. All right. I slowly have like a Dia de los Muertos thing going on with her head. Sorry about that, Kokoschka, but we might have to go with it. All right, everyone. So just a heads up on the time. We're probably going to wrap this up within the next 6-7 minutes, and then we'll have a chance to look at everyone's work. For a moment on screen, and then I'll take a screenshot and ask Rose to send it out to all of you so that you could take a look at home. Zoom in, see what you like, gain inspiration, etc. etc.
Nick, is there a way we can access this picture so that we can work on it afterwards?
Yeah, here, you know what? I'll give you, keep working on it, and I'll just give you a link right now where you can access it.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's here. I'll just find the painting online. Nope. Okay, Mary. So in the chat right now, and for everyone as well, that Wikipedia link will take you right to this image. And you can copy it and paste it somewhere in your computer, or simply Wikipedia. That's the title of it. And just to review, there we go. That's what I got so far. That's probably what I'm going to live with for today. But just to review while we're wrapping up these images in the last few minutes of the session. So the link I just sent you all is a Wikipedia to the image, a Wikipedia page of the image. So feel free to copy and paste that somewhere in your computer so you can work on it later if you'd like. The link just above that, number 4, item number 4 in the chat, if you will, May practice hour. May 19th will be the next time we do this. I'll show you a flyer in just a second. But there's a link to register for that right there, if you'd like. That link will also be available in my practice memos if you go to my website and sign up for those, or in the Marchutz newsletter that will go out before that practice hour. So register for May 19th, and we'll do this again. Item number 3, support the Leo Marchutz School. Again, if you are getting value out of this series, please consider making a contribution to the school that taught me everything I know about painting and drawing, pretty much. And then finally, take a look at Marschutz's programs and workshops as well, and my website, siteandin.site, for other resources for you all. So those are the links. Maybe just 2 more minutes with this image, and then we can take a look at what we all have. Strange piece, I must say. Oh, you know what would be nice? Let me get some of that. Let me get some of that blue shadow in the bottom real quick before I just leave this thing. So if you're familiar with Oskar Kokoschka's work, it's very like German Austrian expressionist. I find his cityscapes really inspiring. And just the color, just the freedom of it all. He he makes rather eccentric and expressive images that I really appreciate because they don't try to be anything. It's just sometimes it's just whirling masses of color that you can sort of distinguish a cityscape in there, something like that. But Prague, he did a bunch in London that were pretty awesome. He did one of Lyon, which is rather beautiful. So I'm a fan of his cityscapes, but I saw this and I thought, you know what? I'm enjoying watercolors lately. I think that would lend itself well to watercolor. Let's try it. A strange portrait. Such a long figure, such a long neck, long arms. What are the hands doing? One of my classmates, I think I said this at the beginning of the session, wrote their thesis on this image, actually, when I was doing my master's. And I kind of want to read it now, see what they thought. Why is this painted the way that it's painted? Okay, everyone, how about some last finishing strokes here? Do whatever you need to do to bring some balance to the image. Mary Beth wrote in the chat, yeah, those hands. What is going on with those hands? Okay, I think that will be. I think I'll do it now for me. Okay, everyone. So I'm going to remove the image. And remember, the link in the chat to Wikipedia will take you right to this image. And before I remove this completely, just friendly reminder that the next time we do this will be Sunday, May 19th at 1 p.m. And you'll all get registration links from wherever you found your registration link to sign up for this session. All right, so without further ado, let's take the spotlight off of my desk and let's take a look at what everyone got for us today. So if you've been practicing, if you've been joining along and you would like to turn on your camera and just hold up your image to the camera like this, I would love to see what you did. Everyone else would love to see what you did. And I will take a cheeky little screenshot that will be emailed out to everyone so that we can take some more at home. Wow. All of the red in that woman's hair. I dig it. I dig it. I dig it. I dig it. Beautiful, everyone. Keep them up there for just a couple more seconds. Let me take just a couple beautiful. Yeah, the red to green, that's like pretty. Look how many of you put that red in the green. Grace, I'm gonna spotlight you for a second real quick. Check that out. So pastels today. But look at the ceiling. Look at the red going up to the top and the blue and the green around it. That was pretty striking. The primary colors of this whole thing was pretty striking. Yeah, beautiful. Candy, I'm going to spotlight you for a second just to see what you got. Nice work with the halos of color again. And you weren't intimidated by the hands, Candy. The fingers and everything. Nice work.
No, they didn't bother me at all. I just figured, hey, do it. But
Yeah.
they're interesting because it almost suggests she's uncomfortable.
Hey now. Hey now.
Yeah.
That's definitely a way into the painting. Very good. All right, Maureen, you are diligently holding up your image still. Let me see what you got. Nice work.
Nice.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, so the position of the hands too. It seems like there aren't that many things emphasized, but the hands get a lot of attention and that collar. I like the
Mhm.
dark gray strokes that you put in the collar right there. That's really, really nice. All right, everyone. Fantastic. Thank you all for joining this month's Masterwork Practice Hour. It's been a joy. It's been great seeing you
Thanks,
all.
Nick.
Thank you, Grace.
Thank you.
Thanks, Nick.
Thank you,
Great to
Maureen.
see you.
Thank you, Anne.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Nick.
Sanam. Thank you for joining. Good to see you again. Elspeth, you too. Judith, I'll see you very soon. Candy, glad you're back on ground.
Yeah.
All right,
But I'll
everyone.
miss you next month.
Oh, that's
because I'll
okay.
be-
I do this every month.
I'm selling my pottery.
Oh, well, keep selling your pottery. That's
Yeah,
a good way
yeah.
to spend your weekends. All right, everyone. Thank you again for joining. I will see you
Bye.
next month, okay?
Yeah.
Thank you. Bye-bye now.
Yeah.
Bye.